Hey, what's up everybody? Prospector here with Watcher of Realms. Here we're checking out the new hero, Ruen Hollow. Is there a good unit? I think he's gonna have a solid place, but is he gonna be a necessary hero? It's hard to say. But anyways, without further ado, well, let's dig in. Alright, so we are going to break down his kit rather quickly. I think you guys have seen quite a bit of it. When deployed, it enters invisibility. The invisibility is actually something that's kind of rare in this game. There's only a couple of heroes that go invisible, and there's only one other hero that's a marksman that goes invisible that helps you solve that Gear Raid 3 issue on the right side. But we do have one, so that's the question of whether or not this hero is actually necessary. When other allied marksmen use their ultimate, the hero launches the Phantom Arrow. Phantom Arrow deals 320% AoE damage to the target and up to 4 other enemies around the target. It's also going to put a decreased defense as well. We'll talk about that in a minute. At one enemy with that marksman's basic attack range. We're within that marksman's basic attack range. So it's not going to be in his range. It's going to be on whatever marksman used his ultimate. That is where that Phantom Arrow is going to strike. This effect can be triggered up to 1 time every 3 seconds. Phantom Arrow inflicts defense reduction on the target, minus 25% defense reduction. There's not a lot of heroes that put defense reduction in the center and on the top left as well as the top right. So there's a lot of different ways you could strategize to use this hero, and time will tell if it's going to be a better option than Alaura. That's going to be the other option. Basic attack is going to be a physical attack, deals 120% damage to one enemy, 1 time, prioritizing airborne units. And then we have Opportune Moment. During invisibility, increases the hero's damage by 25% and restores 10% HP to the hero per second. Doesn't really take a lot of damage, so it's not really a big deal. Negates the first direct damage taken per deployment. This is a nice failsafe just in case he does become visible and the boss does hit him, so he can negate that damage and hopefully go back to being invisible afterwards. We're going to go on to Veiled Strike. For every 4 Twin Strike bolts fired, launches a special Phantom Arrow. That's a special Phantom Arrow up here at one enemy within basic attack range with damage reduced by 5%. Very nice, not too bad, not too shabby. The 320% damage isn't really that big, but Bone Volley, the manual ultimate, 800 cost, start out with 500, lasts for 2.4 seconds, loads up to 20 Twin Strike bolts. As you can see, he just goes dun-dun, dun-dun, dun-dun. It's a decent amount of damage, nothing too crazy. During basic attacks, increases damage of Twin Strike Bolt fired by 100%. Ends invisibility 10 seconds after activating ultimate if Twin Strike Bolt still remains. And enters invisibility again when all Twin Strike Bolts are exhausted. So if you don't use up his bolts, what you're going to end up having an issue with is that he is not going to go back to being invisible again, and that is a big problem on the right side. So heroes like Alaura have the ability just to stay invisible with some of the exclusive gear that comes with them, and he does not have said exclusive gear, so or artifact to do that as well. Speaking of artifacts, he's going to be probably best suited for like a Blake Collar's Claw, help him get up more hits and use those Twin Strike bolts up a lot faster. I think it will work. Either that, or basically it's going to be a good piece anyways, because it increases single target damage by 20%. After basic attack, has a 50% chance to trigger a special strike that deals 100% physical damage to one target. This effect can only be triggered 1 time every 4 seconds. Before we get into the gear, let's go to the awakenings first here. Get myself out of the way. Alright, so during Twin Strike Bolt, reduces basic attack interval by 25%, make him a little bit faster. And Twin Strike Bolt has a 50% chance to inflict 1 stack of Winter's Bite. Winter's Bite is going to help slow the enemies down on that A1, so it stops them from coming forward or moving. So very, very nice. I think it can even stack up to a freeze if I'm mistaken here. Yep, when reaching 3 stacks, inflicts freeze on a target for 2 seconds, so he can even freeze them. On the Awaken level 2, his attack plus 300. It's a big deal to have that attack plus 300, and because his attack is actually pretty low in general. On the Awaken level 3, increases attack by 5%. When the Phantom Arrow triggers, increases the hero's attack by an additional 2%, stacking up to 10 times. Every time he uses a Phantom Arrow, he gets an extra 2% attack, so he's going to get a total of extra 20% attack, and the increased attack by 5%. again, major. This is going to be pretty crucial in order to clear out like gear rate 324, because he's definitely not going to be enough on the right side by himself without having an A5 Alaura and exclusive gear and exclusive artifacts. She can't do it either, so that's something to keep in mind if you want to compare him versus her. I think he can do it a little bit earlier, but it's still not that big of an improvement. Awaken 4 is penetration plus 8%. Awaken level 5 is reduces the trigger interval of the talent's phantom arrow to 2 seconds, so you can send that decreased defense around the map more often, and you can trigger it much more often. It's going to be a game changer. Honestly, that 1 second is going to be pretty massive. So obviously if you want to use, let's say, like a Van Helsing or a Nyx or a Kai or a Razak on the left side over there, it's going to help to be able to trigger those without having to worry as much, like, well, 30% less, as much about the ults in the middle and then losing that ability as well. So when triggered, it grants the corresponding ally a shield equal to 50% of their max HP for 8 seconds. So the shields are not so big. It really depends on your Pantheon level. Sometimes it's hard to keep your heroes alive. You start stacking HP on them instead of stacking flat attack. It does, and it can make a difference. All right, so on to the gear. So Cataclysm, best in slot. Infernal Roar does work pretty well with him as well as Soulbound Arcana. It's one of those situations where Infernal Roar is equal and Cataclysm isn't really that much better either. The reason that Cataclysm does come out on top is because you get that exclusive Star Piercer's piece for anti-air damage plus 8%. If you're not attacking air units with him though, it's probably not going to make much of a difference. So Soulbound Arcana or Infernal Roar would be your next best bet. And I think the order of priority is going to be Cataclysm, Soulbound Arcana, Infernal Roar, and maybe something like a Hell's Lament would probably be okay as well. All right, left side is going to be obviously our favorite, Wicked Vengeance, quad rolls as well. So you can see the gear on here is pretty decent. I'm going for flat attack instead of attack speed here because I have plenty of attack speed at 411. And then we're going for quad rolls with Rage Regen, and HE bonus because I don't have a flat attack piece on the test server with this exclusive gear piece. Otherwise, this would be flat attack, and 1 Rage Regen. I would probably put that around. All right, so we're going to go and test him in the A0, and I want to test him in gear raid 324 and see just how different his damage lines up against Alaura. But in order to do that and show you guys, I need to show you her gear. So this Alaura is awakened level 5. If I pinned him up against an A0 Alaura, I think he'd come up on top. But anyways, it's going to be Cataclysm. She has her own exclusive bangle. She has an exclusive watch guard piece, increasing her damage by 8%. And obviously, this is going to be a good reason that Cataclysm is going to be best in slot for her. And then it's going to be Wicked Vengeance, the same thing on the left side over here. And then Artifact as well. She's going to have a level 10 here, which is going to make her a little bit worse in general. I can actually swap this over to her maxed out Artifact. All right, so there you go. Increases anti-air damage to 20%, 25%. Scattered shots can bounce 1 additional time on hit, dealing 40% damage. So we're going to really just see just how much he equates versus the A5. And if he is just getting overshown too much, I'll take her down to A1 and we'll try it again. So let's get in there. Get myself out of the way here. All right. Let me restart this fight here quick. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put down Kane. And as soon as I can, I'm gonna put down Silas on the left side over here. I'm gonna show you guys something kind of unique. I have to put Yovar here in the center. It's very unique, trust me. Hopefully he could take these guys out. I'm gonna go ahead and put down Diao Chen. I'm just trying to see what kind of damage they're doing against the right enemy over here. So we're not trying to actually just clear the map right now. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put him down and see if he can't take it down. Looks like he's doing about 94, 100k damage, 108, 115. Yeah, it's nothing too crazy, guys. Without using his ult, I don't think he can do it. That's honest to God truth. I don't see that happening. So that kind of poses a bit of a problem. He's not even close. He took down less than, well, right around a quarter. We'd probably give him a little more than a quarter. It's not great. It is not great that he was not able to take that down. Now, Let's start it over again, and we'll use that ultimate to see how that equates. Now I do know that if you use his ultimate and he takes the enemy down too fast, you have to keep in mind that if he doesn't get rid of those bolts, that he's going to end up being in trouble. I was actually kind of intrigued that Silas didn't take down his enemies, but Yovar did. It's kind of interesting. All right, let's put him over here. Let's get his ultimate triggered this time around. Silas, you suck sometimes. All right, here we go. Can he do it with his bolts? Now remember, he holds on to that invisibility, right? So he's doing about 289, and he did take it out. So, and the bolts ran out just in time. I don't know what's going on in the center there. Forget about that. We're looking at this side over here. He did take it out just in time, where his bolts ran out, and then he went back to invisibility. If he took it out like 1 or 2 shots earlier, he'd be screwed. He'd be stuck in invisible mode. The boss is gonna snipe him out, or the next enemy that's gonna come out is just gonna destroy him, and he's not gonna stand a chance. So having his damage set just right is gonna be the way to go, although it is kind of weird, right? So you can do a lot of things, do that, lower his attack a little bit, lower his crit damage just a little bit, you know, whatever you have to do. All right, so how does Alaura do? Does Alaura take out that boss? And here's the interesting thing as well. And this is like something I wanted to show you guys as well, but maybe I'll show it on the next fight. I'll try to use Silas or Yovar again in the center here. All right, Yovar, we're gonna let that one enemy through. Not worrying about that right now, like I said. And then we need to get him out, or her out, I'm sorry. See what she does for damage. So she's sitting there right around similar damage, right? We're not doing too much more. 129, it's about the same. She's sitting at A5, which isn't crazy. See what she does by the time without me helping or using an ult. Okay, so I mean, we're looking at the exact same thing, although you have to consider that this is an A5 Alaura versus an A0 Ruen. So what I wanted to show you here, let's get this done here. And it should work to an extent. Probably not going to be beautiful or anything, but just some theory crafting I wanted to try here. So we're going to put Ruen in the middle here. And he's going to struggle. He is going to struggle. We know that. I'm aware. We're going to activate his ultimate. And then as soon as we can, we're going to go ahead and put down Alaura. And see what happens over here. All right. Come on, Alaura. Get your ult going, please. Oh, there she goes. So he didn't take care of the center. I think with an awakening, he could probably do that. But he did go over here and put a decreased defense on this enemy, which kind of eliminates the reason for me to have to go like this, which is kind of annoying, honestly. Having to place Yovar over here, it looks like he's not going to get it this time. I did it plenty of times where she was able to do it. But anyways, that didn't really work out like I was hoping, but I just wanted to theory craft that for you with some awakenings. I think that's very, very possible. Go ahead and activate this ultimate over here. We're going to go ahead and put him down here. And then we're going to use our Iris, not Eloin. And that's going to help. We're going to point her this way. That's going to help with the damage increase for Silas and Rage Regen. And then you see Silas just uses ult, so you gotta wait a bit, 3 seconds. Then we can go ahead and use Van Helsing's, and he should decrease defense all these guys. Yep, there you go. So if your heroes on the left side have a little bit, like they can't quite break through, his decreased defense shooting it over there is actually pretty useful, honestly. With Lady Alexandra, these enemies would all be gone. Honestly, if I just put Ruen over there, it's not really that big of a problem. She handles it just fine. The real issue is that you have to cycle Alaura's ultimate every time. Doesn't really work out well on stage 24, but it kind of works pretty well if you look at stage 22, 23. but that's not really what we need, is it? And honestly, up here when these guys come out, it's kind of an issue. But theory crafting and a little bit of work, I think we can work something out where this actually functions properly. All right, let's get out of that. I'll show you a proper Gear Raid 323 stage, kind of showcasing how well he does. All right, so now let's go into showing it with Lady A and awaken him a little bit and seeing how he actually functions, right? So Lady A is there. I want to bring him all the way up to the A3 so that during the A1 is going to get during Twin Strike Bolt, reduces basic attack interval by 25%, just makes it a little faster. It's not going to be enough to take down those enemies. It's not really increasing attack in any kind of way. This isn't really helping. The A2 obviously is going to give that extra 300 attack, which will help. And then we have the big increased attack here on the Awaken level 3. So I want to bring him to A3 and see if he can compete with that damage from Alaura. Maybe he can do it on his own. His ultimate does come around a little quicker than Alaura's. That being said, he's probably going to need Lady Alexandra's help. That's the issue here, is that can we do it without the big girl, right? And a lot of the times you can't. And if he's not solving the problem that we don't need Lady A, which I think he should, if you honestly, if you get him to solve the problem that we don't need Lady A, then you got a hero here. He doesn't have to be super game breaking, just strong enough. Or if I have super good gear like this on global server, which I do, then I could target this guy even if I had to go for the A3 and not be locked out of Gear Raid 324 because I don't have Lady Alex. I'm only like 3k points away from getting her, but still, you know, it'd be something to target for a lot of players, right? There's also better heroes to put in the center there besides Kayn. You can use different cost gen heroes. You can always put down like an Erlang Shen, whatever, you know, there is options here. All right, so let's get into it. Stage 24. Let's see if we can manage. We're not gonna put too much effort into it. We're gonna do like a normal run and see if it goes through. All right, so Kayn's in the center. We do have to still put Silas on the left side. There we go. And then I'm gonna get Lady A on the right side. Because that's another problem, is it's really hard to take out these enemies in the center without having decreased defense or Lady A. It's another part of the issue here, right? So that's something to keep in mind. We're gonna put Ruen down before Diao Chen. Hopefully we can take care of this. Now we'll put Diao Chen down, put her into attack mode. Hopefully we can do something about this over here. We're doing a little extra damage on this side. I do want to put a healer down. I kind of want to just let him do his thing, to be honest with you, and see what happens. Even if he gets some help from Lady A. He's hitting right around 140, so he's matching Alaura's damage at this point. My Alaura was doing about 140, so Lady A just helped take that out. Not the greatest result that we're looking for, and Silas failed me again on this side. Wonderful Silas. Wonderful Silas. All right, let's just see if we can save the run. We'll go ahead and use Lady A. You see he's going to help with that decreased defense. She's doing magic damage, so that's not going to really make that much of a difference. I don't think we'll be able to come around to the ultimates fast enough. Over here. All right, let's go ahead and put him down. We still have our guys. I'm gonna let Lady A and him do their thing. Oh, this guy's gonna die. All right, so the run fell apart. One more try at it. See what happens. See if Silas can stop being stupid. Maybe I can go ahead and place Diao Chen a little earlier to help Silas out. I think we can do that. Silas needs some help, guys. Did he take the buff? He did. It's perfect. And then we need to get Lady A in the center. And then Ruen's going to be a little late to the show. That's fine. We'll activate Lady A. And then we're going to go ahead and put down our Aelin. Lady A is going to get sniped. Oh, okay, good. She didn't. All right, we're in good shape now. Lady A saves the day. He was not able to take it out, unfortunately. Very sad. Get that decreased defense out there. Go ahead and put down our Van Helsing, and then Iris on the left side facing right. Activate our Silas, get that decreased defense going, and then see what happens over here. Wait 3 seconds, activate Helsing to get a decreased defense on that top left. Makes it easy. Kai was kind of a better option for this, to be honest with you guys. But same thing again, we're going to refresh that decreased defense over here. Hopefully Lady A gets unbusy and decides to help these guys out. This guy's got to be taken out here soon. Come on, Lady A. No, you're attacking the wrong one. That figures. Anyways, I'm going to activate his ultimate. I guess I could have done that before. We're going to let that guy through, just for the sake of finishing the run here. So, he has to use these all up. See what kind of damage he does to this group up here. That's decent damage, even with Lady A. She's helping and making a big difference. Lady A has a lot of RNG, if you guys weren't aware. And it doesn't look like he's gonna do it again. Come on, lady. Alright, that's gonna be the end of the run. I guess the end of the showcase. I could show you one more. I'll do one more run on Gear Raid 323, and you guys can see just how he's supposed to work, and kind of come to the conclusion that maybe he's not your answer for Gear Raid 324. But I think up to 23 he's a great option if you don't have Alaura. And is he much better at it? I think he's better at it, but I don't think he's good enough that, I mean, because you can use Alaura up to stage 23. So you can use him up to stage 23. So we're not solving any damn problems, right? So he's very cool though. I mean, it's another good hero into the pool. Not great, not bad. Nothing too crazy, nothing too special. Just doing what he does. Average, if you would say. Same thing. We'll do Diao Chen quick here. Get him going. Get our Lady A out. Lady A can be a little finicky as well. That's part of the problem, honestly, is that she either shoots that way or not, or it just is what it is. Let's get a healer out. She just rips into Gear Raid 3. They all do. They all just kind of like rip through Gear Raid 3 at this point in time. But Ruen, he needs some love. He really does. I wish he was just a little bit better. Just a little bit better. It would make things so much nicer for everybody. We're gonna wait till a little bit here. I have to get Silas going. 2 decreased defenses. Waiting with Van Helsing isn't that big of a deal. We're fine. I'm doing it on 2x, I'm not even thinking about it, right? The Lady A is an A5, so that makes a huge difference. You can take out these enemies this time around. And yeah, we're just like speedrunning it at this point. Not an issue. Not an issue at all. He does take out the enemies by himself. This is promising. We don't need either one of these two out. And I can go ahead and point Yovar at the right here, just in case there's a problem over here on the left. Go ahead and wait till these enemies get out again. Go ahead and activate Helsing. There you go. He's gonna rip through those guys. Power dominance is off, everybody. Activate him again. And that should about finish it up. Now let's see if he can actually get through these guys. Yeah, he can do it. He's got it. Come on. Make yourself look good, man. He does handle it by himself, so that's good. That's good. And I think that he's in that situation at an A3. He's probably better than your A5 Alaura with double exclusives and an exclusive artifact. And I think he's a better option. He's a cheaper option, and I think he's going to solve a lot of problems for people if you need him. If you are struggling even with Gear Raid 319, he's going to plow right through all that stuff. And having invisible units out on the field, not just on Gear Raid 3, but campaigns and events and stuff like that, it is nice to have an option to have 2 marksmen on the field that can go invisible, stay invisible, and do a ton of damage. So anyways, guys, that's all I have for today. For today's video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you'd like to check out Ruen's build yourself, You can look at it in the events, or you can check out prospector.gg. I'm going to have the builds added all on there today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your support. Don't forget to join Discord. Don't forget to check out prospector.gg. I've been the Prospector. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep digging.